as real as it gets.
Hey, this is Marcia Prince, IFBB Bikini Pro and Guest Berry Nutrition spokesmodel, and you are listening to the UCW radio show, In Your Face.
The number you have reached, 911, has been changed to a non-published number.
You're listening to UCW Radio.
In your face.
Give it to me, baby.
All right, welcome to the UCW radio show, and we have a great guest here with us today, and Tamsen Fadal. Tamsen, welcome to the show.
Hi.
Tamsen, I don't think I have enough time to go through everything you've done, because you have a colorful career to date.
Oh, you're kind.
No, I'm being truthful. You're a news anchor, author, you're an all-around creative soul, and that's just scratching the surface from what I gather.
Yeah, I stay busy. That's what I say. In a given day, I get up at 2 in the morning, so I figure that I've got a lot of hours in the day, right?
Yeah, you think. But you're an anchor at Pix 11 Mornings, on the Pix 11 Morning Show.
I sure am, yeah. I start the day about 2:15 in the morning, and we hit the air at 4 a.m., and we're on the air from 4 to 9, so that's my morning job.
Okay.
Sometimes I go out and shoot stories, do celebrity interviews, or, I always like to feature amazing entrepreneurial women. I always find some of the things women do are just amazing, and businesses they built from the ground up or started in their basement. So that's my focus, and of course I like social media is one of my favorite things to do, so I have a segment called Tamsen's Talker on the air after I get done anchoring 4 to 6. So from 6 to 9, we talk about kind of, concepts of the day, trends of the day, questions of the day.
And you start at 2:15 in the morning, right?
2:15, I get out of bed, yep.
Oh, man.
That's where it begins.
And then your day just continues on.
Oh, it keeps going. Everyone always asks what time I get out. I go to bed. But you know what? I don't, because I live in New York, it's hard to go to bed early. So anyway, I just, I have a few hours and I say, I'll sleep one day, I promise.
Yeah, you will. Later on. There's no time for that right now. and I empathize, sympathize, everything.
Of course.
But you're on Pix 11 now, but your career, why don't you tell us how you got involved in the media?
Oh, sure. I was interested in radio actually when I was in college. I really liked radio, and I liked what it could do. And I interned at a radio station in St. Petersburg, and ran around Tampa, St. Pete, and Clearwater with a little microphone and trying to chase down stories. But anyways, I started in radio and doing all news formats there, and then realized that I was really interested in television. I did an internship, and then decided journalism was the career I wanted in life. And so I sent out a bunch of tapes. A lot of stations are still laughing about them. I never got responses, but I did get a response from Oak Hill, West Virginia.
Okay.
And they said, come on down. You can be our reporter, photographer, anchor, producer, whatever you want. But you had to do all of it because it's a small market, and so that's where I started. And my goal was always New York City. So through the years, I went to different markets: Pittsburgh, Orlando, and a couple of cities actually in West Virginia, and Philadelphia, and then ended up in New York City. So here I am, and I've been here since 2004. And I started at the CBS station here, and then moved over to WPIX about 3.5 years ago. Okay,
well, you're giving broad strokes on your career to date, but I know you've done some heavy stuff. You've traveled to Afghanistan.
Yeah, I did. My career started as kind of just doing general assignment reporting, and then it moved into being part of an investigative unit, where we were tracking down people who were doing bad things. And then when I went to work for the CBS station out of Philadelphia, I traveled to Afghanistan in 2002 with the troops to report on the war, and was embedded in troops. And then went to several Air Force bases in Germany and London during Operation Enduring Freedom. So that was, it was a really a pivotal moment because, I was there before anyone had even heard the terms embedding with the troops. And so it was, right after 9/11, and we were still very new being over there. And, it changed my life. It really, really did. Only, for a few short weeks, but really changed my life. I went around Kabul and Kandahar and really saw a different world that, I don't think I would have had the chance to do had I not been I had not been a journalist.
No.
And, yeah, so it was pretty amazing.
Well, I think had you not really put yourself on the line to get deeply involved in the journalism field, because if you didn't go and take that crazy gig, you wouldn't be where you are right now.
Yeah, no, not at all. And I, it's funny. I would never have thought I would have, been going over to a war. I even had a hard time telling my dad, like, hey, I just want you to know I'm going into a war zone. And we went on a military flight in and, talking with people who are there and talked with the military and, being away from families for months and months at a time. But, it was a lot of work to get there, and I think that it changed my perspective on a lot of things when I came back. It was nice. I'm always very, very appreciative of that. And, try not to take anything for granted in terms of what we have here, because we live in a very different world than what's over there.
I mean, you definitely set a great example for anyone, man, woman, or child, to go after their dreams, and that's basically what you were doing.
Thank you. Yeah, really. I wasn't sure what they were initially, and then once I realized it, I realized that that's what I wanted to do. And I read every book, watched every news anchor that I wanted to emulate, and you work those crazy hours. Everyone says like, oh, you're working on your master's degree when you're first 2 years out of school. And I think I did that like the first 10 out of school, but just worked hard because it was really what I wanted to do. And New York was my ultimate dream to get here and be in the number one city for this field anyway. And so I feel very blessed to be doing that every day. And every day is different. It's what I've always liked about the news business. Never bored. And, I meet amazing people. And I feel very, very blessed, actually, by being able to do that.
Well, you've interviewed and been, face to face with some of the biggest names, not only in the U.S., but, worldwide.
Yeah, I have, and I every once in a while I think I'm like, oh, whoa, did I say anything stupid or what did I say? But people's stories are what drives me. I really embrace them, from those around the corner who lived in the neighborhood for 50 years to U.S. presidents, and I think that there are people everywhere that add something to your life, some dimension. And, if they're people that are newsmakers or even if they're just people that are living their life, they have a story to tell. Everybody really does have one. No matter where you are. So.
Well, that's the truth, and same reason why I do what I do. You want to be able to lay the groundwork and tell the stories that maybe you normally won't hear.
Well, that's the thing. I mean, I think that, it's all about asking questions at the end of the day. Everybody's curious, and everybody has their own life experience. If you can either learn from them or be inspired by them and prevent a problem from happening by just listening to a life experience or just lend an ear. That's always, something that I've liked being able to do.
Yeah, and it's a form of therapy, I guess.
It feels like it sometimes. Sometimes I wonder if I turn the tables and they're listening to my complaints. But, yeah, it is. It is.
Yeah, but let me ask you, when you were at CBS, obviously I've seen you on the CW11, on Pix 11, and you seem to be having a lot more fun.
Oh, I do. It's a news program, but there's also lifestyle involved in it because it's a 5-hour show.
Right.
And that's really nice, and it's something that was really attractive to me because after I got back and I'd done time as an investigative reporter, I went overseas, had worked in the news field for a long time. I think I needed to take a breath, and it was nice to be able to have a little bit of everything combined in the show. So, whether it's a money segment or it's tech and, or great authors or celebrities or newsmakers or politicians, we get a little taste of everything, so the morning is never dull. And, I think the audience likes that, and I think we have it's a very, it's a New York station, and it's I wasn't born or raised in New York City, but I'll tell you what, when I tell people I work at Pix, they say like Pix is games, Pix, or, the people know the station, and, it has its place here, and it's kind of its own culture, and I like that, and I appreciate the background that it has.
Yeah, it's a little less stuffy than the major networks, without a doubt.
Oh yeah, it definitely is, and we have a fun group that we work with every day, and we get up early, so you have to either have a lot of caffeine or really just get along, and we really just get along, and it's nice. It's there's a close-knit feeling to it like I experienced when I was in smaller markets. And there's something refreshing about that because, I've been to stations where nobody talks, everybody goes home to the family, and that's it. And here, I can genuinely say, there are people that I consider friends, and I think that's hard to find nowadays in your work environment because people are all going separate ways, or they're sitting on their Facebook page, or they're, doing their Twitter account. So I do appreciate that because to come in that early in the morning, you want to have somebody that, you look forward to seeing every day.
Yeah, but it's like a marriage, kind of.
Yeah, it is exactly like a marriage. Trust me. It's, and then there's a bunch of little kids running around, and there's crazy aunts and uncles, and it's a big, family. That's what it is.
Yeah, but that's a good feeling when you get up in the morning and go to work knowing that, hey, you actually have real friends at the office.
Yeah, it's really nice, and, and everybody helps each other out, whether someone's moving or, there's a going away, and, we've had people come and go, and people are, genuinely excited if somebody is, promoted to a job that they want, or, they're leaving to have a baby. And that's a nice thing to be able to do it, in a number one market in the country where, most of the people you would think are established, don't have to worry about who they're sitting next to, and, they're just doing their own thing. They're genuinely involved in your life. And I think this is good because it also it brings a lot of people in. It is a station that is a stop through for a lot of the major celebrities that come through, a lot of the big newsmakers that come through the area, and so that's kind of a cool thing because at the other stations, if you're at a local station in New York, usually the network handles that. But being at Channel 11, we actually handle that, so that's a really interesting part of it that makes it unique.
Well, you guys are you're hands-on, pretty much.
Oh yeah, we're hands-on. Trust me.
But now you being when you were at I don't know if you were at CBS or I think you were at CBS, but you're an Emmy Award winner.
Yeah, I won an award. I was in the CBS family, but I was based in Philadelphia at the time, actually, and did some investigative work with regard to the horse carriages that were in the area and the treatment of the carriages there. And then also, it wasn't an Emmy. Well, that was an Emmy that I won, and then the other award I won was by the National Air Disaster Foundation post 9/11. My producer and I did a number of things with the airport there to help improve aviation safety in Philadelphia International Airport. So that was an amazing part of it because everybody was kind of learning as you go, like what's the TSA, what does that stand for, and what do they do, and what do we have to do with security, and so it's the whole new world. And we were really part of it, and I feel like we were really I had the privilege to work alongside a great producer. And we were really instrumental in doing some things I think really improved aviation safety across the board and are still in place today.
Well, there you go. And that's why you have an award for it. People recognize it, which is great.
Yeah, they really did. And so that was a nice thing to have, definitely.
Okay, now moving forward from that, okay, and also just touching on the media again, beyond what you're doing at Pix, you were on some reality show.
Yeah, I had a reality show for a short time on Lifetime called Match to Manhattan, based on a matchmaking business that I was a co-founder of, and still have a business called The Love Consultants, and so that was kind of fun. I did more of the image consulting, with that and kind of building women's self-esteem. But that was a short little stint, but it was a lot of fun, which allowed me to be some interesting, crazy characters. But New York is a place where it's not easy to date, and so to be able to help the women here and help the guys here is always fun. And it's a completely different hat than the one that I wore when I was at CBS or that I wear currently at WPX. But I think in this day and age, you can do a little bit of everything, and it's okay. People are okay with that. I don't think it's like it used to be where you can only do one thing and that's it at the end of the day.
No, you have to be multifaceted, without a doubt. You can't just be one-dimensional.
Yeah, at 2 in the morning, you got more time, huh?
Yeah, you have a little more time, and I don't know, I guess come like 2 o'clock in the afternoon, your sanity starts going another direction.
You know what, I'm a big yoga person, so that keeps me a little bit grounded, but yeah, still a little insane by that time, no question whatsoever.
Well, with that spare time after the show's done, you dive into a lot of things. You are an author, and I want to talk about your books.
Okay.
Yeah. Why hasn't he called?
I don't know. You tell me. You're the god.
I don't know.
Yeah, I wrote 2 books. Why has he called and why has he proposed? And, really based on women asking those questions. That's the truth of it. They were kind of originally going to just be sort of tip books of, different tips on dating, love, and relationships. And it wound up, the McGraw-Hill publishing company said, well, what's the biggest question that women ask? And immediately I was like, why hasn't he called? And they said, well, why do they ask that question? I go, because guys never call. And so that wound up being the name of the book. And that was the first one. And then they said, well, we want to do a second one because the first one did really well. So, it was a fun book to write. And then they said, well, what's the next question? I said, well, usually they're in a relationship, so it's, why has he proposed? So, it came pretty simple because it was pretty organic, actually, in terms of, that's just kind of real life. So those were fun books to write. And, and to this day, they still always get a kind of a chuckle and a reaction.
Well, because you're talking about reality.
Maybe not from the guys, but the women like it.
Well, because you're talking about reality.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. Very, very much so.
Yeah, because women and men, everyone's dating, and especially in New York, it's hard.
Each other. Yeah, it is hard, and it's and everyone thinks the internet's made it easier. I think the internet's giving you more options.
Yeah.
I definitely know that it's made anything any easier. So, listen, this is the age-old question. Is the reason Sex and the City was such a popular show because it was so true to life. And at the end of the day, to be able to be part of that's kind of cool.
I think that's great stuff, and I'm sure everyone adheres to it because, again, why hasn't he called? I never thought about it until I saw the title.
Well, they said, what's the next one? I said, why hasn't he left, I guess, is the next one. I don't know. We got to figure out the name.
Well, why hasn't he left? Because he feels threatened. I don't know.
I know. Well, that's the next book. I don't know.
Oh, my God. Too funny.
All right, we'll be right back.
Tell me now, what can I take? Anything to not feel this way for so long. It has stayed the same. What the hell does this all mean? 'Cause nothing's making any sense to me.
If you're having trouble paying your mortgage, chances are you may have already heard from a con artist. They may guarantee to save your home and ask you to pay a fee up front, but that will make your housing situation go from bad to worse. The fact is, if you're facing foreclosure, worried about being behind on your mortgage, or just want to know more about avoiding scams like these, free help is available. Find out more at ftc.gov/yourhome. That's ftc.gov/yourhome. A message from the Federal Trade Commission.
The Ultimate Martial Art Experience, Action Martial Art Magazine Hall of Fame, January 25th and 26th this year. Don't miss it. Bigger and better than ever. More stars, more people, bigger rooms. We're expanding everything. Friday night parties, seminars, so be there. Need to call me, 718-856-8070, and I'll tell you more.
It's our last errand today, Jimmy. Just need to pick up some light bulbs.
Whoa, there's so many. Did Grandma tell you which ones to buy?
No, but check out the label on this package. It'll help us find the right bulbs.
Does it really matter?
Well, sure. The new light bulbs use a lot less energy, so we save money on our electric bill by using an energy-saving incandescent, CFL, or LED.
How about this bulb?
Let's see. We need to replace the 60-watt bulbs in our bedside lamps. That one is 800 lumens, so it should do the trick.
I've never heard of lumens.
Lumens tell us how bright the light is. The more lumens, the brighter the bulb.
You know, Grandpa, you're a pretty bright guy.
Yeah, you're pretty smart yourself, Jimmy.
Lumens, the new way to shop for light. Learn more at EnergySavers.gov. That's EnergySavers.gov. A message from the U.S. Department of Energy.
Funhouse is going to be a hard show to top, but that's my job. That's what I have to figure out. Whether I have to light myself on fire and shoot myself out of a cannon, that's what I have to do. I have to figure it out. And that's the fun part for me. I had a lot left over from my last breakup with my current husband, baby daddy. So it's just kind of all over the place. And it's fun. I was having a lot of fun. I think that's a new thing for me. I was just having a lot more fun than I've ever had before. And I think production-wise, it's a lot more interesting. And the musicality, I feel like I raised the bar for myself.
I've got another headache again tonight. Eyes on fire, and the burn from all the tears. I've been crying, I've been dying over you. Tying knot in the rope, trying to hold, but there's nothing to grab, so I let go. I think I finally had enough. I think I maybe think too much.
I think the way that Willow has inspired my music is that the easiest way I can explain it is I used to be very dramatic, and I'm not at all anymore. And I used to wake up and be like, what do I have to do today? And I don't feel good. Maybe I have cancer. I used to just be really dark, and now I'm like, I wake up and check her pulse and make sure she's not having a temperature, and then we dance, and we dance, and we dance, and we dance, and we go on bike rides, and we dance some more, and everything's a song, and it's just a lot more fun.
It's gonna be legend. Wait for it. And I hope you're not lactose intolerant, because the second half of that word is dairy.
But now, I mean, you've done that, and you're also involved in fashion.
I am. It's always been a huge part of what I've done with, in regard to the television industry, even with matchmaking. Image consulting was what my focus was primarily in that business. And even in the books, giving fashion advice, and I've learned so much from the different people who've come in, like how to do things on a budget, how to do things cheap, how to on the air I wear $15 dresses some days. So I think that can be done. It doesn't mean you have to spend lots of money. It just means you have to know how to put it together a little bit, and I've been able to learn that over the years. And the newest thing I'm involved in is they started an accessories line, or a lifestyle line actually, with jewelry with my cousin. And so the name of the company is called Tamsen. Her name is Shannon Elizabeth, an actress. And we were first cousins in Texas, and that's where we grew up. And we came, we went our separate ways kind of doing our careers, and then came together as adults and said, we both had a real interest in jewelry, and we would go around New York City walking around the street fairs and picking up crazy pieces and stuff. And I said, gosh, we should just have our own line. She said, oh my God, I've always wanted that. So we started making, putting together, our ideas and names, and a jewelry line was born. And so it's very, very new. It's still definitely in its infancy stages. But it's, it started, and we've gotten some press on it already, and we're just going to keep going from there. And I hope people like it, and hope that it's just the very beginning of, of something a little bit bigger. We wanted it to have meaning, and wanted each piece to stand for something. And so, on the website, each one of the stones have different properties that mean different things. So if you need strength, or you need healing, or you need, whatever it is, whatever it means to you, each gemstone has a different property. And what they're, we go into what they're made up of, and, what they can do for you. And so we've had some great feedback from it, and I hope it just, continues to expand.
Well, it's going to continue to grow.
I hope so.
Well, I know it's going to, and the reason I know is because of how you are as a person.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah.
You're very kind.
Well, you're driven. You're driven.
I'm driven. It's tiring, but for those around me. But I feel like you come around once, and you better do what you want to do while you're here.
Well, you have to. You definitely have to. And as I said, you're driven, and that is what inspires people. When you have no more to give, you give more.
Yeah, I agree with you. And people say, like, how do you do it all? You want to go home and sleep? And You know what, I don't right now. And so, while I'm, I think it's about keeping, staying organized. I try not to have any more than 5 things on my plate at a time in terms of, whatever that is. Whether, one of them is my job, one of them is the jewelry line, one of them is my, personal life, whatever it is, I try to have it in 5. I think that's a good number for me. And that's what I can balance and what I can handle mentally. And so that's how I kind of stay organized. I have a notebook that has 5 sections. And, that's sort of what I do to keep it all together. So nothing falls out of the way.
So you do it in 5s where most people do it in 1 or 2.
Oh. Right. Yes, 5's my number.
Oh my God. Well, if 5's your number, I have no doubt that everything you touch is going to continue to, expand, explode, grow, and get the attention that it deserves. Because again, I'm just looking at. I looked at your line. I looked at some of the things that you've done, and I was impressed.
Oh, thank you so much. I really appreciate it. I hope that, I just think you're supposed to leave something when you go. And, I hope I have. I lost my mom at a very young age, and so I think that it made me very motivated to try to live life to the very, very fullest. And so I hope that's what I do every day. And, be good to the people that are around you, and they're good to you. I couldn't do it without a lot of really great people in my life. I definitely have some great people in my life, so I feel blessed about that.
Well, you're very humble.
No, I don't know. I think you have to be, right?
Yeah, you have to be.
I think there's no, you think you're so great, and then you can find 50 people who are doing greater things. Whether it's charity work across the, I feel like I never do enough.
Yeah.
So for sure.
Yeah, well, I'll just tell you a quick story. I was on the train last week, and I saw someone, and I was having a bad day. Saw some guy talking to himself, and you know what I thought? I started laughing at myself. I said, you know what? Things aren't that bad.
Yep, exactly right. I couldn't agree with you more. It's those things that kind of bounce it back into perspective that, that keep you going. Yeah. On the days that I'm crabby about, I'm like, oh, I need more coffee. I can't. And I'm thinking to myself, like, I'm lucky I'm able to drink. I'm lucky I'm able to get coffee. I'm lucky, there's so many things. So when you say thank you for that at the end of the day, you don't have time to complain, I don't think.
No, you put things in perspective. You put yourself in check. That's what it comes down to.
Yeah, it's super, super important. Somebody told me a long time I was an intern. She said to me, Tamsen, always remember this. If you're in this business, for every one person that loves you, 10 hate you. If you keep that in mind, you'll always stay humble. And I said, is that true? And she goes, I don't know if it's true or not, but always keep it in mind. And I really always have. Like, that was the one piece of advice that I always had. Nothing should go to your head. You're never, no one's better than anybody else. Everybody, does great things. And, so she really, she changed my life. And that's why I try to take as many interns as possible that I have over the years. And, because I think you have to pass it on and move it forward. That's the only way to do things.
Well, I think that's fantastic. Well, because what you're giving is opportunity.
Well, sure, and I think it's kind of fun because I have some of my interns that are now currently working in New York, so that's sort of neat. They were young, they're young college students, and now they're right here working in New York City. So that's kind of cool to know that you did that. I don't have kids of my own, so that's nice to see, and a nice place to get back.
Well, I mean, and it comes in handy when you have to move.
Yeah, right. That worked out well. I didn't think of that.
Yeah, see, you got to keep that in mind.
I never thought of that.
Yeah, you got to hit them up when you have a big move coming on.
Remember who made your career.
Yeah, no, but I think it's fantastic that you open up the doors of opportunity for people that normally wouldn't have that opportunity. Maybe it's because of what you've been through.
I think that someone did it for me. I wouldn't be it. I wouldn't have. I don't think I'd have been. I don't know. I think I would have been too scared to move forward if somebody hadn't helped me. Helped me get there. I remember when I told my father I was moving to West Virginia to take a job in television, and he's like, "What? Where? You don't even know where West Virginia is on the map." I go, "No, but I got a job in TV, Dad." And so he goes, "All right, well, let's pack the car." And that's what we did. And my dad taught my brother and I to be very independent after my mother died, and so we were, and we packed up the car, and I moved to West Virginia. I I didn't even know how to spell Virginia, I don't think. But, but went there and tried.
Well, I have a lot of respect for you for doing that, because most people are afraid to grow or roll the dice. But life's about rolling the dice.
Oh, completely. I lived above a furniture store in a studio apartment on Main Street, and our television station was located in a bowling alley. So, and on the weekends I taught aerobics to make extra money and shot football games, and I know nothing about football, I'll admit that. And, they said, well, you don't need to know anything about football, just follow the ball. And I said, is it really that easy? Well, just follow the ball. Well, it's not that easy, actually, because if you don't know where the ball is going, it's hard to follow it. But I did my best, and so for $25 extra a weekend, I shot football. So I've had some crazy jobs and some fun things.
Yeah, but it all paid off in the end, and I think that's what I want to extract from you, is what you had to go through. No one handed anything to you on a silver platter.
No, and I don't think. I think even if you do get handed things on a silver platter, if you don't have your comeuppance, like you don't learn and you don't make those mistakes, it doesn't work. I just don't think it works. And I think that I always was told, like, you don't make your mistakes in the number 1 market, number 2, 3 markets. Make your mistakes where not a lot of people are seeing them, but enough people are seeing them, so you learn. And so that's what I always, I realized I needed to do. So when I finished school in Tampa, I started looking around for jobs, because I had the job in radio, and found the one in Oakville, West Virginia, and been still in touch with with the very first person that hired me there. Actually, he's now a news director in Tennessee. But you keep those contacts through the years, and it seems like a lifetime ago, but it was pretty cool.
No, well, for you it's a lifetime ago, because you're doing 5, 10 things at a time.
Or I'm just getting really, really old.
No, what are you kidding me?
It feels like a lifetime ago, but I just kept saying yes. I think somebody told me one time, when I was looking around to do the reality show, she said to me, just keep showing up, just keep showing up. And I said, what does that mean? She said, just keep showing up, say yes and keep showing up. And I said, all right, I don't know what that means. I was showing up for any and everything, but it works, and I do believe in that. Things don't come to you, they don't come knocking at your door, they don't come find you. I think you have to show up and be interested and have an awareness and curiosity, and, I think it'll happen.
Yeah,
I really do believe in that.
Well, you got to show up. If you don't dance, then what are you going to do? Are you going to be a wallflower?
Yeah, exactly.
Sit down. As you said, life is, you go around once.
Yep.
There's
no question. My mom died when she was 51 years old of breast cancer, and I know that she wanted to do a lot of things that she never got to do, and so anyway, I try to always remember that, because that was a real pivotal point in my life.
And you mentioned it a couple of times, and I apologize. I was going to give you my condolences, because because I do empathize with you. When you lose an integral part of your family, a parent, at a young age, it really impacts your life, and it forces you to be stronger. Yeah,
I think so. I think whether it's through divorce or death or whatever it is, I think it makes you grow up a lot faster, and I think I lived my life a little bit backwards. I wound up going, I was taking care of my mom when I was in college, so I didn't go out and party and, get crazy like all the other kids did, because I didn't have time to do it, because I was studying and taking care of her. So I always say, like, oh, wow, I was living backwards. I was like, I don't think I had my first drink when I was like 26. So, it's just kind of the way it works. But, my time with her was very important, and I think that she'd be pretty proud. And so, I've got a good, brother and father, and my dad is still alive, and so it's nice, so he's here, and, it all works out.
And you said you think that she would be proud? I think she would be beyond proud. I think she'd be ecstatic.
Thank you.
I mean,
you're so sweet. Thank you so much.
Well, it's true. I mean, I again, in your situation, knowing your story and knowing what you've done and what you're going to continue to do, your future's only getting brighter.
I hope so, and you're very kind to say it. So.
Well, I mean, this is what I see, but this is what I see, And I may be a psychic, I don't know, but
Oh, good.
but this is what I see, and and everything, and when I see someone and that comes from nothing and they build up on their own to do what they need to do, it stems from their upbringing, parents. That's someone in your life that kind of schooled you early on this is what you need to do to get what you want.
Yeah, no, there's no question whatsoever. I mean, I think that it's so important. I mean, I think that's again why I think it's important to keep giving back, because everything comes from somewhere. You know, if you do not have that, if you don't have somebody, whether it's a parent or a brother or an aunt or just a an interested person in your life, I just don't know how you get to the next level, because we can't all make we can't always make our own mistakes. Like, sometimes we have to learn from somebody else's. How much time would we waste if we all had to make our own mistakes? So, I've learned a lot of mine from somebody else's mistakes and tried to avoid them along the way. And I realized that, I was at a award ceremony yesterday, and one of the speakers said, like, no matter what you do, no matter how busy you get, no matter how important you think you are, you've always got to read, and you've always got to pay attention and grow. And I agree with that. Like, I think that is a big part of life. You don't have something to talk about every day, and you're not, reading and getting involved and being there. And that's, I think, what got me to the next level, because I was constantly curious. I mean, I look like a crazy person, but, by my bedside, I have a self-help book, a diet book, a jewelry book, a handbag line book, a news book, but I'm interested in a lot of things, and I don't make apologies for it anymore. I think it's just okay.
Well, you're educating yourself on what's around you, and anyone that doesn't do that is not too, interested in their future.
Yeah, I completely agree. I mean, we don't know, we don't ever know what anything holds, and so I think you always have to be prepared to the next step.
Yeah, I mean, look, I do the same thing. If I'm interested in doing something, or if I am doing something, I'll read. I'll buy books and stuff that I probably won't read in 3 years, but
I've got them all. I look at myself sometimes and I'm like, I was going to play the guitar, but apparently at some point that came to me and I bought a book about it.
Nice.
Yeah.
Nice.
So it's always a lot of fun.
Now, you said you, and going back, you lost your mom at an early age, and based on that, you're actually involved in some charitable work as well.
Yeah, I am. I do a lot with Susan G. Komen. That was a big part of my life when I was in Philadelphia. I worked with the Race to the Cure, I have the race every year, and that was super special to me. And I also headed up the Pink Tie Gala every year. Now I do a lot of different charities. Breast cancer is always one of them, but with the line that Shannon and I have, the Shanson Jewelry line, we give a portion of all proceeds to different charities. So we work with animal charities, with breast cancer charities. In fact, we named one of the necklaces after my mom. It's called the Libby Love Necklace, and so a portion of those charities are going to breast cancer. So nice. That's important, and I think to give back is essential no matter what. So I do a lot of events during the week, whether it's for kids or whatever it is, where I can at least lend a voice or MC something or host something, because I mean, if I'm not doing it, why not? I enjoy it. I was at the SPCA in Monmouth County on Saturday, and met some amazing people, really amazing people. So I think that I get as much out of it as I get. So.
But in doing that stuff, it's not about getting publicity. It's not about, you're doing a selfless act.
Yeah, I mean, sometimes the cameras are there. This particular weekend was a Saturday night. We didn't have any cameras there. It was about the animals. It was about the people who had, put the event together. And yeah, I think I don't think you do it to see, how many times you're going to get your picture snapped. I think you do it because it's the right thing to do.
And if the cameras are involved, it only helps the charity.
Sure, it helps further the cause, and they're always, obviously always happy to have that, because it gives a voice to something that might not have had a voice before. And so, that's really, I think, why I really got into news in the beginning. I do enjoy telling stories, but I also think I saw so many people that didn't have any kind of outlet, which is what kind of moved me toward investigative reporting. They didn't have an outlet. They didn't have somebody to tell about the leak in the roof or the the person that had scammed them out of money. And so to be able to do that, and at the end of the night go, wow, I got this family of 6 who had nothing, their heaters turned back on, or whatever it is a good feeling. There's not a lot of, not a lot of jobs like that.
No,
and
that's true.
It's very human.
Well, that's
very
what,
human.
but you have, in order to do things like that, you have to have it in you to want to do it, which you do.
Yeah, I really do.
Yeah.
I enjoy it. I enjoy people. I can't get enough of them, actually. They could probably get enough of me, but I can't get enough of them. So.
Well, I don't think that's true.
Works out.
I don't think that's true at all. I think that people embrace you, especially the people in New York. They embrace you.
Thanks, they're fun.
yeah, but again, I see you on TV and I see how much fun you have, and that radiates.
Yeah, I do have a good time. I really have a good time. I have a great job. I have a fun job, and I'm very lucky. And I don't forget that. Even at 2:15 in the morning, some mornings, I don't forget that.
Yeah, that's wow. I mean, I'm up at 2:15. Yeah, that's me.
I know.
I guess if I went out the night before, I don't know.
Exactly.
But you don't have that luxury.
I don't. I try to go out to do the charity stuff, and then I try to just get back at a good time. Like tonight, I'm actually going to go to bed early after we get off the phone, if you can believe it or not. I'm going to go to bed early.
Oh, look at you being a good girl.
I know. I'm behaved tonight. I went to my doctor today just for my checkup, and he's like, "How many hours of sleep do you think you get?" And I go, 4. And he goes, "Do you think that's good?" And I said, "I don't know. I wasn't thinking if it was good or bad. Just you asked me, you asked me a question, I gave you an answer." So he goes, "That's bad." And I said, "All right." I said, 6, and he goes, 8 hours of sleep. And I said, "Well, that's never happening. So we can just kind of find some kind of way to negotiate that down."
8 hours of sleep. What are you? 10?
He's like, I said, when is that happening?
You're not growing anymore, so.
I said, "I'm all done growing, doctor."
That's it, Doc.
Done growing.
Oh my God, too funny. Now, Tamsen, why don't you? I mean, again, your background, your story, your journey, amazing. And honestly, if we can stay on the phone for hours, we can continue to talk, and we wouldn't reach an end in all the things that you've done or what you're looking to do. Okay.
Oh, thank you.
But I know that you're taking time out of your busy schedule to do the show, and I appreciate that.
Well, thanks for having me on.
No problem. Well, can you tell us, our listeners, real quick, where are you going from here?
You know what? I don't know. I have to figure that out at this point. I'm really interested in doing a lifestyle brand. I'd like to, make that a little more national. Whether we're able to, get that on 8% of QVC, that would be really great. And I think I really want to do something that empowers women, but starts at the base, where girls are. And I think that that's important to me. I don't have children of my own, and so I feel like giving to those girls would kind of complete the cycle of what was given to me. So I'd like to do my lifestyle line and go from there. And whether that puts me into the style genre or whatever it is, I would not mind that. So maybe if I can combine TV and style together, it would work. So that's what I'm sort of looking at doing.
Well, I think you're on the path of doing that, because you know how to put it together without a doubt.
Oh, I hope so. I'm trying to get into the production side of things, and so that'll be fun to not only be do the front of the camera stuff, but also do a little bit of stuff behind. We'll see what happens.
Well, I think that you have, again, as I said earlier, you have a bright future ahead of you, and I just look forward to seeing really great and greater things from you as the months and years go by, because I don't think that we're getting rid of you anytime in the near future.
Thank you for keeping me around. I'll try not to disappoint.
Yeah, well, you're not going to disappoint. Why don't you let our listeners know how they can find out more about you, how they can follow you and follow your career as things just get better and better and better.
Oh, thanks. TamsenFadal.com is a website I've put together, and I'm going to try to blog a little bit better, but I'm on Facebook at Tamsen Fadal or Twitter at Tamsen Fadal. So you can hit me at any of those, and the jewelry line is Shansen Jewelry, SHANSEN Jewelry, and everything kind of links back and forth to itself. I'm everywhere, and I respond too as much as possible. So as much as I see the thing, sometimes emails slip me by when I'm half asleep, but for most of the time I try to respond. Anyway.
Well, when you get up at 2:15 in the morning, yeah, you'll be half asleep.
Time, right?
Yeah, exactly. Thank God for Red Bull or 5-Hour Energy or whatever you have going on.
Lightning, that's my new drink of choice.
Lightning, oh my God. And if anyone wanted to order jewelry, they can order it from the site?
Yeah, ShansonJewelry.com.
Yeah, ShansonJewelry.com and TamsenFadal.com. Find out more about Tamsen and follow her career because she, again, her future is going to get better and better. I'm honored to have the opportunity to have you on the show now, Tamsen, because I know I'm not going to be able to touch you in the next few years.
Oh, yeah, right. Well, thank you.
Yeah, you're going to say...
In God's ears.
Yeah, you're going to say, Lou, who, what? No.
Oh, I won't forget Lou. I go, Lou, we spent that night together, that Tuesday night. Or what is it, Monday or Tuesday?
Tuesday, see? Oh, my God. Too funny. Tamsen, thank you so much. And hopefully, down the road we can have you back on and get an update with what's going on with you.
Anytime.
Great, thank you so much.
Initiating shutdown sequence.
You're listening to UCW Radio. In your face.
What is your major malfunction? So let it be written. So let it be done.
Ladies and gentlemen, my mother thanks you, my father thanks you, my sister thanks you, and I thank you.